Welcome to Beauty in Stories. This is a space where short, meaningful tales invite us to explore life's deep lessons and the beauty of emotions. Each story becomes a journey to listen, reflect, and rediscover values that are often overlooked in the busyness of life. Join us as we uncover inspiration, joy, and connection in these stories every day. And now, let's dive into today's story, The Ill-Fitting Shoes.
After a fight with my friend, I left the house in a storm of anger and frustration. Tonight, the narrow street ahead of me felt longer than usual, probably because my mind was weighed down with unresolved thoughts. I wandered aimlessly, not really noticing where I was going, until a dim streetlight cast a soft glow on a small figure struggling at the corner of the street. It was a little girl, tottering in high heels that were clearly too big for her frail legs. Watching her wobbly steps, I felt a mix of amusement and worry. Each step was a battle, as the oversized shoes made it nearly impossible for her to walk steadily. Compelled by curiosity, I walked closer, unable to ignore this scene without asking a few questions. As I reached her, I gently took her hand to steady her. "Hey there. Why are you wearing shoes that don't fit you?" I asked, my tone half scolding, half concerned. She looked up at me with clear, soulful eyes that held a weight no child's eyes should.
"These are my mom's shoes,"
she replied softly but with surprising determination.
"When my mom wore these shoes and walked forward, everyone admired her. I want to be like my mom, so I wear these shoes for her."
Her words made my heart sink. I couldn't help but ask, "Why can't your mom wear these shoes anymore?" She looked down, her voice barely a whisper, as if afraid someone might overhear.
"Grandma told me my mom is lying under the ground now, and her soul is on its way to heaven."
I froze, feeling a sharp ache in my chest. This little girl was far too young to truly understand what she'd lost, but she was already dealing with it in her own way. To keep her mother close, she chose to wear these shoes, even though each step brought new pain. Fresh blisters. I didn't know what to say to comfort her. I could only stare at her tiny feet, swollen and scratched.
"But Grandma lied to me,"
she continued suddenly, breaking the silence.
"Shoot, it's a secret."
She looked around, then leaned in and whispered,
"My mom loved these shoes a lot. So when I wear them, I feel like she's right here with me, watching over me, protecting me."
She smiled, her eyes shining under the streetlight.
"As long as I wear these shoes, my mom will always be by my side."
I stood there, stunned by the innocence and depth of her words. She was holding on to her mother's memory through a pair of shoes, a simple, lifeless object that had somehow come to carry all her love, sorrow, and hope. She was just a child, yet she already understood that some things are meant to be held close, even if others may not fully understand. As she walked away, I noticed a small, peaceful smile on her face, as if she were talking to her mother with each step. But her tiny feet betrayed the truth. They were covered in bruises and scrapes, the marks of her efforts to feel her mother's presence with every step. I couldn't help myself from asking, "You miss your mom a lot, don't you? But look, your feet are all hurt." She stopped and looked straight at me with an unexpectedly wise gaze.
"Yes, I miss her so much. But compared to not being able to feel her, the pain from wearing these shoes is much easier to bear."
Her words cut deep. This little girl understood that pain wasn't just something physical, it was the emptiness that comes from the absence of someone you love. Tears began to well up in my eyes. Maybe because I, too, have tried to carry ill-fitting shoes in my own life, holding on to someone or something, just to avoid feeling alone, refusing to let go even when it hurt. I knelt down, carefully lifted her onto my back, and carried her home. Her shoes dangled in my hand like a precious keepsake, a testament to her love for her mother. On the way, she told me about her mom, a strong and loving woman who had taught her to be brave and to believe in herself. Her eyes sparkled with each memory, as if these moments, brief as they were, had left a deep mark on her young heart. I realized that this little girl had taught me something profound. I understood that some things don't truly belong to us, but out of love or memory, we choose to carry them, bearing the scars, just to feel a little less alone, to believe that those we love are still close. Perhaps each of us, at some point, wears our own ill-fitting shoes, enduring the pain just to hold on to a cherished love, a sacred memory. When I got back home, I wondered if my relationship with my friend was also an ill-fitting shoe. We loved each other, but maybe we were just trudging forward, taking painful, awkward steps together. Could it be that some love exists not because we're truly a match, but because we've become accustomed to the pain that love sometimes brings? We keep going, hobbling along this shared path. But in the end, will we realize that these shoes were never truly ours to wear? In the quiet of my room, I let my tears fall, thinking about the girl's ill-fitting shoes. The way she held on to her mother's keepsake, knowing it wasn't truly hers, made me wonder if sometimes we need to let go, to find a pair of shoes that fits better, a love that doesn't have to hurt.
Reflection. The story, The Ill-Fitting Shoes, is a touching portrayal of love, loss, and the way we hold on to the memories of those who have passed. The little girl in the story chose to wear her mother's oversized shoes, even though every step caused her pain, just to feel as if her mother were still walking beside her. These shoes became a symbol of her deep love, one she clung to, even though it no longer truly belonged to her. The story reminds us that sometimes we choose to hold on to things that no longer fit, just to keep the warmth of someone who is no longer here. We're willing to bear the hurt, because compared to the emptiness of loss, that pain can feel easier to endure. Through the image of the little girl walking in her mother's oversized shoes, the story also reminds us that in life, there are things we must let go of, not out of a lack of love, but because true love sometimes requires us to let go so that the one we cherish can find peace. Letting go isn't about forgetting, it's about honoring and preserving the memory, while allowing ourselves to move forward with a gentler heart and lighter steps. Thank you for joining Beauty in Stories for today's tale. I hope these moments have brought you meaningful insights and inspiration. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you won't miss any upcoming stories. See you in the next one.
Goodbye!